Welcome to Chatting Chaps, episode 2. I'm joined with my co-host, who is MHS 2017 valedictorian. He is a youth pastor, an evangelist, a best-selling author. He's editor of Azusa Weekly, a husband, Jeff Bezos' right-hand man. He's also Biden's neighbor, Mike and Kim's favorite son-in-law. He's uncle to my boys. He's my Yankee brother from the same mother. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Cooper Vance Chapman.
Thank you. It's good to be here, Luke. Good to be here on the show again, the podcast. And thank all of you for listening. You know, that you'll never get this 30 minutes back. So glad you made it. Look, go ahead. What you
Go ahead. I thought you might.
But the music was, it's kind of getting in my head. I couldn't think inside my head. So I got an introduction for you.
All right.
You want to just listen up. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you my doppelganger, my evil twin, my best man, my brother from the same mother. He is the expert youth pastor. He can get down in the kitchen. Oh, yeah, he can thump a bass. He can beat a drum. He can preach a sermon. Folks, on the basketball court, this man is the absolute reincarnation of Blake Griffin. His hands are as sticky as Julio Jones. He can drive a golf ball like OJ drives a Bronco. This man's got more Jordans than he's got underwear. He knows everything there is to know about Alabama football. He runs this podcast like Chris Paul runs the point, and he reigns from deep South Alabama. It's none other than give it up for Luke Chapman. How was that?
What an introduction. I don't know that I've ever been introduced like that before. And some of this is very questionable. We'll talk about it later.
I've been practicing that. And also I just want to say from the get-go, Luke, I think we'll never see a more prepared podcaster than we'll see today. I dropped the ball last episode, but I've watched every video you've said. I've read every article. So I'm ready to go. You might not get to talk much. I'm ready to go.
How many videos and articles have I seen?
That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant.
Folks, we have an interesting episode today. We're going to try to cut it to 30 minutes, but I'm coming from Cancun, Mexico. We're shooting from here all the way to Cooper, where he's at, in Rising Sun, Maryland.
America. I'm in America.
Listen, audio may not be great today, but we do have an interesting podcast here today. So just an interesting episode, and we wanted to share with you guys. So first off, how have you been?
Man, I'm blessed. Always blessed. Blessed and highly favored.
Amen.
How have you been?
Amen.
How have you been, man? How have you been? Coming from Mexico.
Well, first, before I get into that, you just finished your semester, right?
I did. Yeah, I just took my last exams. I do have to go today and do some observation at school, but after that, I'm done. I'm done for the summer. Hopefully, I'm not taking summer classes, so I'm done for the summer.
That's wonderful, man.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
Excited.
It has. I want to say first, happy anniversary to my wife. This past Thursday made 4 years we've been married. And we've got 2 handsome little boys, Laban and Cayman, but God has blessed us. So with this anniversary, we wanted to plan a trip. Just to give you a little context, when me and my wife got married during COVID, we weren't able to take the trip that we had planned. And so we've not really got to do that since. So this come available, and so we wanted to take a trip for our 4-year anniversary, and it has been very, very eventful from the start, I will say. And I'm going to be doing a lot of talking here in a little bit, but I'm going to try to make this long story short, if you will. So Cooper asked how our trip in Mexico is going. I want to start from the very beginning.
Come on.
So Thursday, which was our anniversary, April 18th, we were supposed to fly out of New Orleans. So we left at 1:30 from our house, 1:30, 1:45. We left our house in the morning to go to New Orleans. We were supposed to fly out by 7 something, 7 maybe. We get there, we get through TSA pre-check, everything. We get find our gate. We're there. We're waiting, and our flight gets delayed till I think 9 o'clock, or I think it was 9 o'clock. Anyways, it got delayed several times, and the plane had already arrived. We were supposed to fly to Charlotte. The plane had already arrived, and the plane gets there, and they said they're having to do some engine work. Obviously, you don't want to ride a plane. You want them to fix it. Well,
Absolutely.
the problem is the more they delay our flight, we're going to miss our flight to Charlotte from Charlotte to Cancun. And so we wait, and then they delay it to 12 o'clock. Well, there's no way we can make our flight from Charlotte to Cancun. Long story short, for Thursday, uh, our trip got canceled on Thursday. And so we're kind of bummed out, but we understand that God has a plan. Lord's in control. So we basically just spent a day pretty much in the airport in New Orleans. We go home, and we're getting everything rescheduled. We fly out Friday from Pensacola. And I'm thinking, um, surely,
Sure.
no delays today. Everything's going to go smooth.
Mm.
Uh, my wife deserves this trip, and I just surely everything's going to go great. We get to Pensacola, and I want to throw out the airline that we're flying with. We're flying with American Airlines. Absolutely awful. Not everyone, but uh, I'll get to that in a minute. But it was just my wife. Let me throw this in. My wife has never flown before. She's never been out of the country. So this first couple of days had been a pretty rough experience. So Friday, we get to the airport in Pensacola, and we're sitting there, and we have a huge layover in Miami, and we get delayed again, and then we get delayed again, and we get delayed like 3 or 4 times in Pensacola. Finally, that night in Pensacola, we finally get a flight out of Pensacola, make it to Miami. Again, I want to say this is my wife's first plane ride, and Friday night into Saturday morning, we spend the night in the airport because there was no use of getting a hotel in Miami because by the time we got a hotel, we'd get like an hour of sleep and have to be back and get through TSA pre-check and get back to our gate. So we're at the gate in Miami, and our plane arrives on time. Everything's going good, and we're thinking, you know what, this is going to be good. Everything's going great. We're going to have a wonderful trip. We land in Cancun on Saturday morning, and our bag's not there.
Mm. Mm.
And have you ever experienced that? I
Well,
know
my
you
bag,
have flown a lot. Yeah,
my bag not being there.
yeah,
Yes. Well, and I'll quickly so you can get back to your story. But the reason I've flown so much in the past few years was because of Kai. We had that long distance relationship. But last July, when I came down, Logan was having a surgery. You were,
right.
Cayman was being born. Yeah, I had that trouble because I ended up having to stay in the airport too in Atlanta. I had to sleep. That was miserable.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then they rerouted me to Philadelphia. I was supposed to go to Baltimore, and they lost my. I got there, and my luggage wasn't there, so they had to end up sending it back to me. But yes, that's frustrating.
Well, so I've not flown as much as you have, but I begin to count how many times I've flown a pretty good bit for throughout my life, and just never had this problem. And I know I've heard people lose luggage, all that, but you're wanting everything to go right because this is your anniversary trip. We get to Cancun. I'm going to remind everybody, our audience, once again, this is my wife's first time flying, first time out of the country. We get to Cancun, and we do not have our luggage. And all of our clothes, our toiletries, everything that we need is in that suitcase. And so
Man.
we go to the front desk. I track my baggage on my AA app, and it says it's in Miami. And so I go to the lady at baggage claims services in Cancun, and she tracks my bag and says somebody's picked it up in Miami. And I'm thinking, this is just going to be the worst trip of our lives. And so we didn't know what to do. So we began to make some calls and people helping us out and different things. And uh, we had to, we were headed to our resort. Well, the company that was scheduled to pick us up to take us to our resort, which is about 30 minutes away, because we were a day late, they never updated the info, and they wouldn't let us, they wouldn't take us to our resort.
Yeah.
And so not only have we been delayed in our flight, but
Yeah.
now we have luggage that says it's in Miami. We don't have it. And now we don't have anybody to take us to our resort. Well, luckily enough, just the blessings of God. I know some of you thinking, man, how can you, you faced all this, whatever. God knew.
He's
That's what
good.
we had to remind ourselves.
He's
He
good.
is great. And so
In the
there was a
valley of
guy there.
in the valley of the shadow of death, Luke.
Oh,
You just
come
got to
on,
remember.
preach.
Hey. You just got to remember. Just kidding. Go ahead. Sorry.
So there was a guy there, and that was with the thing. He with the company, the transportation company. He was so helpful, and he kind of upset me. I'm gonna be honest. I'm already a
Fine. That's
little
fine.
baffled, but he says, he comes up to me and says, "Smile, my friend. You're in Mexico." I'm thinking, buddy,
I'm from
don't tell me to
America.
smile. Don't tell me to smile. And so get a little, he kept telling
Don't
me, he said,
don't tell
"You
me what
need
to
to
do.
smile. Yeah, don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to do." And he says, "You're in Mexico." And so I'm thinking, man, you don't know what we've just been through. This is my wife's trip. If it was me, listen, I've been on missions trips, and but I've never had a worse time in flying and being out of the country than this. And but I'm thinking, for me, I'm fine. But I've got my wife. She deserves the best trip. And not only has it not been the best trip, but it's
Yeah.
not getting any better. You
Yeah.
know, she's sitting on the side of a sidewalk in Mexico, and we have no bag. This guy's trying to tell me to smile. And
Man.
sometimes you do think you're thinking, why did you react that way? I tell the guy, I said, I start smiling. I said, "I'm sorry," and I tip the guy. He helped us out so much.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
uh
Yeah.
he got us a private taxi and to take us to our
Yeah.
resort.
Yeah.
So we get that. I tip him. I'm
Yeah.
thinking,
Yeah.
why did I just tip this guy? He just told me to smile. You
He
know.
just, how dare he?
So so we get to the resort. They're treating us like gold.
Oh yeah.
It's just like kings and queens. And
Oh yeah.
uh,
Rightfully so. Rightfully
I
so.
just I'm not in the mood, to really enjoy because of everything that's going on. We get registered in. They want to know where our luggage is at. We tell them it's stuck in Miami.
Then you tell him the
Uh,
whole story.
yeah, and it's just a little aggravating. They bring us
Sit
champagne.
sit down, buddy. Let
And,
me tell you a little story.
yeah, they
Sorry.
bring us champagne to sip on
Hey, Luke.
at the.
Look, this is one of those parts Brooke might need to trim.
We did not
Okay.
partake
Okay.
in the champagne. We did not partake. But it's just like the enemy, I've never drank, I've never had alcohol,
It's just
but
like the enemy.
just like the enemy, you've had a bad day,
Like
it's been a stressful day, and then the devil just puts. It was
champagne
not
up.
a temptation, it was not a desire or a temptation at all. Um,
Mm.
but Brooke looked at me, she said, "Is this alcohol?" And you took one whiff and you knew it
Oh,
was alcohol.
you took a whiff.
I just took
Wow.
a
Wow.
little
Oh wow.
sniff to see,
Oh yeah,
and
you
it
got
was
to.
definitely alcohol.
You got to be for sure, man.
but we went and ate breakfast, and we left the champagne at the table. We did not partake any. We
I
stayed
I
saved,
I,
sanctified.
I believe you, Luke. I
I hope
believe you.
our audience believes.
I
Um,
believe you. That's all that matters.
we stayed saved, sanctified, and so we did not partake. We had no desire. So we make some phone calls. One individual just helped us out tremendously,
Yeah.
and then they were able to get a hold of somebody at American Airlines. And this gentleman, he was more than helpful. He notified every airport that our bag.
Hey, sorry about that, Luke.
Wow, wow,
Uh,
bless you.
hey,
I'm
can
so
you still hear me good?
yeah, yeah. I'm surprised you're still alive after that.
Man, that rattled my chest.
Anyways,
I
you
saw some
okay?
love. I saw some loved ones that had gone on before me. No, go ahead.
So, so this individual that contacted American Airlines, they were so helpful. The guy at American Airlines, he was so helpful in notifying every airport that our bag went through. And so yesterday morning, I checked my AA app and I saw that our bag was in route or whatever to Cancun. It was on the way to Cancun. It
Yeah,
had
yeah,
boarded the morning flight. And so we're praising God, we're thanking God. So we've got to go get our bag though. So that's another 30-minute drive.
yeah, yeah,
So we tell the front desk we've got to go. Well, Brooke, she doesn't want to stay here by herself. So which is very understandable.
yeah.
Very
You're in
understandable.
Mexico.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm going to explain something that we didn't tell a whole lot of people in just a little while. So
Mm.
we get a taxi. The resort gets us a taxi, and we had to go back to the airport. We get to the airport. We're trying to find. We know where the what terminal the plane's landing, and we're just need to getting to. We're needing to get to baggage claim. So I'm gonna try to make this part short. Well, there's a guy outside. He's got a badge that says he says he works for the airport. He leads us to the right place, to the right lady, to American Airlines in the back. They get our bag. Um, we waited about an hour or so. They got our bag. We opened it up, checked it, and made sure everything was in there. They roughed up our bag, but it's okay. We got all of our stuff. And so the guy that helped us, he does not have on a uniform or anything. He told us, he said, I will help y'all. He was from Mexico. He said, I will help y'all get transportation back to the resort. And just kind of iffy about it, you know. So we finally get our bag. Well,
Been there, Luke.
I'm on the phone, huh?
No, nothing. Go ahead. I'll comment later.
Okay. I'm on the phone with the resort trying to see if they can send somebody or recommend a taxi service.
Yeah,
And because we had heard you don't want to just get in any taxi uh, service or any taxi period. And so while I'm on the phone, Brooke notices one of that man's guys. They're not in uniform at all. They've just got these walkie-talkies, little radios. He comes behind me and he hears everything I'm saying and radios it in back to his guy. I never saw him. So I went to the lady at American Airlines and I asked her, I
wow.
said, would you recommend a taxi service? And she says, she gives me two companies. She said, when you go out, she said, do not talk to those guys. They are not safe, whatever. And so I'm thinking, oh my gosh, but I can't hardly understand her either. You know, I heard that part, but I couldn't
Yeah,
understand where she was directing
yeah.
us. So as I go, it's just not making sense. So I find another person that worked for American Airlines and I asked them the same thing. And they told me the exact same thing that this lady that got our bag for us, how she helped us. So we go, that gentleman's standing right there. He's trying to help us, blah, blah, blah. Here, you can take a picture of my badge, blah, blah, blah. Just, and Brooks over here saying, no, do not tell him where we're staying, blah, blah, blah. So I'm in contact with another individual from the States, and they're helping me uh, to the best of their ability to find the right uh, taxi service. And so I tell them what's going on, and they recommend me to someone. Well, basically, I tell this guy, I tell him, I slipped up. I slipped up. I,
Luke.
I told him where we're staying.
Oh, did you tell him what room? Did you give him a room key?
No, I did not give him the room key. This has become a long story, folks.
No,
But
no.
I tell him where we're staying, and Brooke, she just shaking her head. She's, well, I tell the guy we're just not interested. I told him that on there's a wall that separates. They would not let us go on the other side,
I've
and
heard
it's
about
hard
that
to
wall.
explain.
I've heard about that wall on the news. They're not quite done.
Un momento, por favor.
Wow,
Hold on.
impressive. I've heard about that wall. I heard it's not finished yet.
Hopefully, never mind.
America.
America. All right, are we back? We good?
Yes, I'm good with you, man. Can you hear
Can
me
you
good?
hear me? Yeah,
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Good.
Yes, yes. Anyways, so I know on the other side of this wall that separates people coming, arriving, I know that there is that company that we dealt with the day before. Well, this
Yeah.
guy says, "Oh, you can't go to them. They're not there. They're in a different terminal." And I says, "No, they're over there." He said, "Oh, you got to have a reservation. You got to have a reservation." I said, "I've already talked to somebody. We got it figured out." He said, "Okay, okay." He said, "It's like a mile to get around there." So me and Brooke takes off walking with a suitcase and my backpack. And which I had my backpack here, but I took it with me,
Yeah.
just in
Yeah.
case. And so we go off walking, and there is no sidewalk. Brooke's walking on the grass, and I'm rolling it on the streets as vehicles are flying by. This taxi pulls up, says, "Oh, where you need to go?" Blah blah blah. I told him. So it had taxi on the thing, and I've got a lot on my mind, trying to
Oh no.
comfort my wife.
Oh no.
She's in a million pieces, and so it's like we'll go. We put our suitcase in the thing, and instantly my wife, I trust her discernment. I mean, I believe she has discernment. She just she did not feel. I mean, she immediately got sick to her stomach,
Mother's
and
intuition. No, that's not the same thing.
I don't think so.
No. I've heard of it.
But
Go ahead.
so he starts to go, and we've not left the airport yet, and I hear him radio in that he had us, and the response over the radio was, "Did you get their luggage?"
Oh dear.
And
Oh.
so instantly, I'm
Mm,
telling you, I was like, you know what?
dude.
That's not right. That's not right.
Oh my
Because
God.
how did they know that we had, you know? And so what had happened was most likely this guy sent that, this taxi to pick us up, you know, and so
Oh my
instantly
God.
Brooks, I'm gonna tell you, my wife, she was put in a situation that I put ourselves in, but she knew how to react. We began to work as a team, and she acted like she had to throw up. And she kept saying, "I got to throw up. I got to throw up." And I told the guy, I said, "Turn right here. Stop the car." So he turns around and he goes into the on the other side of the wall. I said, "Drop us off right here." He starts coming up with excuses, whatever. I opened the door and I put one leg out. I said, "Pop the trunk," because listen, we just got our bag back. We're not losing that thing again.
Oh my dear.
And so he
Yeah.
said, "Let me pull right here." I said, "You pull right there." I said, "Pop this trunk." And so I've still got the door open. Cars are flying by. I don't care if the door goes off or not. And so he pulls over to the thing. The door opens. I open. I had the door still open, and I had one leg out, and I'm standing like kind of up, but I've got the other leg in. Brooks in. I said, "Pop the trunk." He pops the trunk. We get our bag out. We get out of the car. We go walking. We go walking again, and we
Wow.
probably walk I don't know, probably 100, 150 yards, and we find one of the things that one of the companies recommended to us, and lo and behold, the company that helped us the day before was there, the same guy and everything.
Liar.
And so, and let me throw this in. So we didn't tell our folks back home, but while we were getting, we had already left home from the States.
Yeah.
I get an email while
Oh dear.
in one of the airports. Uh, I don't know if it's because I have global entry or what it was, but I got an email uh, from the United States saying, "Be careful for all travelers who are flying to Mexico." Um, and there's four levels of danger, and there is a good portion of Mexico that is under a level 4 because of the cartel. And we are actually, our area is under a level 2 right now, being
Oh no.
cautious for danger and those that are trying to harm you. So there's just a lot going on. We knew that. We didn't tell a whole lot of people. And so we finally found one of the right companies. We paid for a taxi. We're going. We're
Yeah.
headed back to the
Yeah.
resort.
Yeah.
This cat, he looked young, but he did not slack up at all. He went, I'd say for about, it's a 30-minute drive. So about 50% of our ride, he went 120 miles per hour.
Are you for
No joke.
Oh,
Let me
are you for real?
let me rephrase. I think he started off at 110, 110, 115. He probably went about 50%. I'm not kidding.
Good night.
I was watching it the whole time.
Man.
He got up to 120. We took a curve. I'm not kidding. We took a curve at 120, 120 miles per hour.
But look, I bet you felt safer in there than you did in the first one. Or did you?
Well, yes,
did you wish you were back with the cartel at that point?
well, all my wife could think of was we're fixing to get traffic,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. So, anyways, so we're going 120 miles per hour. The last part of our trip, this cat hits 130 and pretty much stays 130 till probably the last mile and a half, and he
So
goes back to 120.
the cartel was behind y'all, trying to get their package back.
I don't know, but,
Dude, that's
but
crazy. That's
he was
crazy,
gone, man. I'm telling you,
man.
if he stayed in the left hand lane most of the time, which Brooke was sitting on that side. If she had a rolled down her window, stuck out her arm, we would have hit a tree. We were that close. He was
Wait,
flying.
wait a minute. In Mexico, you drive what on what side? Any side, or what?
Oh,
You drive on the right
like
side.
a, it was
Oh,
like
it
a
was.
4 lane.
Oh, I see. It was
Yeah,
4 lane.
yeah, yeah. And he was getting after it, man. And we got there a lot faster than we had any other time. And
Yeah.
on this trip, you can take excursions and different stuff like that, different
Oh
fun
yeah,
trips.
yeah.
We've had our excursion. We've had our
Yeah,
excursion,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Everything we've been through, we're just staying here at the resort for the rest of the trip. But yeah, even when he pulled into the resort, um, we got through the gate, whatever. It's probably like a mile to the resort, and it's part of the resort. It's pretty scenery
Yeah.
and it's little roundabouts. I'm telling you, flying through there. I don't know how fast he was going there, but he was going every bit of 50 and 60 through that. I mean, it's unnecessary, but he got us there. He got us there. We're
Over
safe.
the speed bumps.
We're safe. We're
Jumping the
here.
speed bumps.
I'm telling you, dude, he was flying. And I had texted our person from the States and told him, I said, this guy's going 130 miles per hour. No joke. And it was quite the experience, except,
Wow.
what here was the plus. My wife was fine. Um, and so we get to the resort and we
Yeah.
thought we was going to have another situation. The guy at the front, the bellhop, where the bellhop and everything is, who checks people in and stuff like that. He's not the bellhop, but you understand what I'm saying. All that right there. We had our luggage, and he thought that I had went and picked Brooke up, and that she wasn't registered here. And I was like, no, we can go check. We can go
Oh,
check. I was like,
oh
wait,
dear. Yeah, yeah.
So we're actually getting to have a good time now. And I know
Well,
I've
that's
spent
good.
30 minutes talking about this, but this was
Nah.
quite the experience.
Man, so you had told me y'all had some trouble, but you didn't tell me. I don't think you did that on purpose, but I didn't know all that is crazy. That is crazy about the guy who picked you up. That is insane. The trouble y'all are having, I felt horrible. Like whenever y'all's flight got delayed, I was praying for y'all. I was like, man, they need to have a good trip. But dude, that's crazy. Oh my goodness,
We just need
you almost got
to go.
trafficked. You realize that? I
Well,
like
I'm
like
trying not to think about it.
I'm just thankful to just be talking to you this morning. You know what I mean? That's crazy, man.
We just
Crazy.
need everybody to pray that we make it back safely to the States.
Oh yeah, you got it whooped now. You done beat the cartel. You got it.
Yeah,
You got it whooped. Yeah,
we're
that's
probably gonna have
crazy.
to see them again. I hope not.
Dude, that's
But
crazy, man.
I
Yeah,
mentioned to Brooke, she was like, we know Lord's got a reason for everything, but we I mentioned to her, I said next year, I said we'll just take a cruise, and she said no. She said the ship will probably sink, and it's just
yeah.
it's just
That would
you
be a
know
bad way to go. Yeah.
oh man. So,
Uh,
but that's our trip. We're actually enjoying it now. This is a beautiful place, a beautiful
yeah,
resort.
yeah.
It's an
That's cool.
all-inclusive place that the Lord has
Wow.
blessed us to be able to take this trip. We had never really got to take a trip like this, and so the Lord really blessed us to be able to do this.
Yeah.
Lord knows my wife deserved it, and so after everything she went through last year and just different things, so we're glad to take this trip. But man, I hate the long story. I hope somebody's enjoyed it, but
No.
it's
Yeah. You could write a book. I feel like just off the past couple of days. No. So I've told you before about Kai and I got to go to Jamaica a few years ago, and we had a little incident. And it was my fault. It was our fault. But we went off the resort to go parasailing, and for a second, now it's nothing in comparison to what you just told me. Like, well, we went like that was nothing. But I did have a little uneasiness, a little bit. I thought maybe they were going to throw me overboard or something because they took us out to a boat and all this stuff, and we had to sign out of the. It was just I don't recommend it, but it was a fun time. But y'all, that was yeah, man.
I don't know
Be safe. Be
your little
careful.
parasailing thing could have been a whole lot worse than what it was. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
if you want to share a little bit of it, I think
Well,
we got a little time to.
well. I won't go into all of it. Basically, what happened? We were in Jamaica at a resort as well, and our travel agent people had told us. Shout out to Christine Adcock. She had told us to don't leave the resort. Our family, just whatever you do, just don't leave the resort because apparently Jamaica. And you look at the news lately, Jamaica is not a safe place to be. But anyway, so this guy kept telling us, and we kept seeing the parasailing in the day, like out on the water. We were like, man, that looks fun. Well, the Jamaican guy, he had took us snorkeling like the night before, and he told us, he was like, yeah, he said, you want to go parasailing? And they had a little accent. I was like, well, yeah, and he was like, oh, he said, it's not in the resort. He said, my cousin. He said, you have to go out of the resort. He said, my cousin will hook you up. And of course, that sounds sketchy. But anyways, long story short, we ended up doing it, signing out of the resort. But they took us out to this boat, took us to another resort. Some more people hopped on, and then we had to transfer boats. We got out on the water. We got out like a long ways away. Like we couldn't hardly see the resort anymore. And we transferred to another boat, which you have to because of the parasailing. But then they start like looking at Kai and start talking, and one guy whispered. And at that point, that's when I thought things were going to go very bad for us. But that was on our honeymoon. But anyways, Lord blessed us, and it didn't happen. Had a good
We
time.
have not put our wives in the best situations.
Yeah.
You know,
But that's crazy. It makes for good content. It makes for good
yeah.
content. But
And
that's
that was
crazy,
one thing
man.
I prayed. I I prayed that maybe this podcast would be successful, not for name, not for fame, but for the segments that we have in encouraging people and helping people. We just we won't. There's a lot of
Yeah.
podcasts out there,
Yeah.
and you can't watch them all. Whether it's
Yeah.
vulgar. I can't talk bad language,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
just inappropriate stuff. But we wanted
Yeah.
to just create something where people could watch and
Oh yeah.
enjoy. But little did I know that maybe all this is happening just for content.
Yeah.
Uh,
And spread awareness, cartel awareness. You know what I mean?
Trafficking.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Yeah,
But
I'm just glad you're here, Luke. It's good to see you.
well,
But
man, I appreciate it.
you're not out of the woods yet. Hope you have a good
No,
trip.
we got to get home. We got to
Nah,
get home.
dude, that's why I hate flying too. Not the cartel, but the delays and stuff. Dude, I hate flying because the past several times I get a delay. There's a mix up with my luggage. Like I just hate it. I hate it. If I can drive, I'll drive everywhere because I hate flying.
I don't know how effective this would be, but I do know a young man whose father was a part of the cartel, and they actually have a house here in Mexico, and so
Huh?
maybe if we got trapped,
Just
we
call him
could
up.
just call him up.
Just say his name. I know you're a leader.
Yeah, yeah.
Take me to your leader.
So maybe, and then
Wow, bro, you got connections. Wow,
well,
impressive.
Lord helps. Lord prepares us for these. I hope we don't. I hope we just get home. I've never
Crazy,
we're
man.
enjoying ourselves, but as soon as
Yeah.
we leave this resort, I'm telling you, I've never wanted to be back in South Alabama as much as I do right now.
yeah.
But
Man,
so
that is wow. That is
it's
crazy, man. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your trip, bro.
I know
I was praying hard for the flights getting delayed. I should have been praying for y'all not to get trafficked. Oh man,
so.
that's crazy.
Well, Brooke, it didn't help. Brooke looked up the news for Cancun Airport, and apparently, I think January of this year, uh, some of the taxi services uh, got 6 people, took them down the road, and took a machete to them. And so, that kind of stuff you don't want to look up. I woke
Yeah,
up
Luke.
to her.
Sorry. No, I was just gonna
Those
say.
those guys are in jail now, apparently, or prison. But
Yeah, well, that's not.
the cartel is a
Yeah, when you
big
told me
group of
all
people.
this, when you were telling me all this, I looked up a little bit about the cartel and it wasn't pleasant, Luke. I'll be honest. I wasn't gonna tell you, but it's not pleasant.
Well,
So level 2 is level 2 on the high end of things or the low end? Like how many levels are there? You said
there's 4 levels.
Okay.
One's the least, four's the greatest.
To get to the worst.
Are you there?
You still with me?
I'm here.
I'm
Can you
here
see
too.
me?
Yep. I think we're still
All
recording.
right.
Yeah.
We had a
Okay.
little glitch. Once we
Little
get back
glitch.
to the States, I think we'll be fine. But
I love how you're saying the States. You sound like a renowned traveler. Is what you sound like. The States. When I get back to the States.
but there's
America.
4 levels.
America. I was kidding. There's 4 levels.
There's 4 levels. Yeah. And four's the worst. And if you look on, anybody can look on the news and see there is a vast, just a big section of Mexico that is under the level 4.
Huh.
I'd say we're about 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours from that level 4.
Oh,
but
boy.
our section is under the level 2. So
well, that's good that your resort isn't under the level 4. That's
I want to tell somebody that as a child of God, we're safe in His arms.
Oh.
Amen.
Amen.
I believe it. If you haven't checked out Azusa Weekly that posted yesterday, Brother Logan Overstreet did a wonderful job.
Yes.
Man, that was a good word. And then I can't remember everything, but you have history of the month, missions, I think, of the month, April.
Yes. Ministry of the month.
Yeah. I think ministry of the month, landmark,
World
tabernacle,
missions.
Right? Landmark tabernacle is the highlight.
Landmark World Missions. That's the church, but this is the organization that is.
Okay. Just doing a wonderful job of Azusa Weekly, and I've enjoyed it. Have a scripture of the week, I believe, and we checked that out yesterday as it was posted. So.
Quote of the week.
Yep. So
just some things to check out. But Brother Logan, he did such a wonderful job.
Wonderful job.
A shout out.
Good word. Really, it really spoke to us.
What's on your
Peace of
mind?
mind. Peace of
Yeah.
mind.
What's on
Peace
your
of
mind?
mind. Peace of mind.
Shout out to my
Uh,
first wife of 3 years. She did last week's. No, but we've had some wonderful great. But yeah, my wife, she
yep.
helped me out. I said my first, I don't know if my first wife
I
of
got
3
it.
years.
I got it. I
That
got
was
it.
the joke. But
Yeah, I
anyway,
got it.
tough crowd.
So, do you think we have time for like one more segment and then we'll just close out?
Sure. I mean, I'm fine
Yeah.
with it. Why don't we ask the audience? Oh, they want it, Luke.
I
They're
heard
begging.
it. I
They're
think I
begging for
did.
it. They're begging for it. They're go ahead.
So, just an accomplishment
Okay.
in our family that has
Oh,
happened here recently.
yeah.
Um, I
Oh
am
boy.
so proud of him, this
Uh,
individual.
oh,
Um,
thank you,
he's
Luke.
just become a big boy.
Thank you. Who you talking about, Luke?
Laban.
Uh,
Laban is now potty trained. Can we give Laban a hand? He is now potty trained. As a parent, you feel
wow.
such an accomplishment.
Wow.
But just to hear him say that he's got to go TT or poo
Wow.
poo is it's quite just like he's doing it. He
Wow.
is becoming a big boy.
So,
I give him an applaud every time.
wow.
Like it's just it's a wonderful accomplishment.
Every single time you give him an applause.
If I know it, if I'm there, I
Wow.
just tell him, "Good job, buddy,"
Wow, that's got to be
and he'll say,
encouraging.
"Oh man."
I wish I got an applause every time. You know what I mean? Every time I'm gonna call you, ask for an applause. That would encourage me. You know what I mean?
The
That's great.
but he's just becoming a big boy. He'll tell he said, "Daddy, I'm a big boy," and he's growing up. And reality is, and we're going to hurry up with this segment and close out. But
Yeah.
reality is, he's going to have future accidents. I'm not upset about that.
Yeah.
I'm not upset about that at all. I mean, he's going to have accidents.
It's not a
He's going
mistake. It's
to.
just a happy accident.
Yeah, it's just an accident.
Just an accident.
It's an accident.
Bob Ross.
Yeah. So I'm proud of Laban. Cayman's coming up.
I
He's
am
just
too.
getting he's just getting bigger and bigger, and I'm ready for Cayman the day he becomes potty trained, and
Bundle of joy.
I just feel such an accomplishment,
You should.
Laban as a parent, and then I know he does too. Laban does too. He is now poo pooing and pee peeing in the potty.
Oh wow.
And that is wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you have any tough questions for today?
Well, actually, and I just wanted. That is, I'm so proud of Laban. But I actually, I heard I recently, like literally just the other day, I heard a story about a guy, and I'll just be real brief with this because I know we're about to close. But he was trying to get his kid to potty train, and his kid was getting a little older, and I don't remember the exact age, but he just like couldn't get it. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't get it, and so he was like curious why doesn't he want to be potty trained? Like why? So you know what he did, Luke? He went and bought some like adult diapers or whatever you call them. I don't know. I don't really know what you call it. Depends. I don't know what it's called. And he started wearing them. He actually put them on and started wearing the adult diapers. And he said he realized why. And I'll lead up to my tough question. But he realized why his son, or I think it was his son, didn't want to, because it saves so much time.
It is a big time saver.
He said he would be on the road to work, and he didn't even have to stop at the gas station. He would just do it on the way to work. When he got to the office, he'd go straight to his desk on the way to the desk, just save some time right there. And that got me to thinking, Luke. And I think I wrote my tough question down, but I think nature is trying to tell us something. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But like, look at a little baby, a little kid. And then when we get older, what's going to happen? We're gonna have to go back to that. I think we're just fighting the natural. What do you think? I mean, I don't know. I guess it's not really a tough question, but I mean, it drives me to wonder. Like, I wonder how much time I could save. We could spend more time with the Lord, spend more time with our family, get more work done.
I'm telling you, I think it would be a huge time saver. I mean, just think about it. No more, nobody else leaving a church service.
Wow.
Nobody else having an excuse to walk up. I gotta go to the bathroom. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has that one person in your church that they're gonna make a beeline to the bathroom every
Yeah. Yeah.
service. You can just about tell when.
Yeah.
No more of that, pastors. I mean, Sunday morning, you might want to implement this in your service.
Yeah. And
Well,
here's another tough question. Is indoor plumbing even necessary? Or like we could just do away with all save
I'm
money.
telling you, it would save money. It
Commodes
would
are
save money.
outrageous. Commodes
It
are
would save
outrageous in
money.
this economy. Toilets, outrageous.
Our grandmother, our dad's mother,
Oh boy,
she told
please.
me when I lived with her, she told me that she had dad, Uncle Doug, and Aunt Labana all potty trained by the time the next one was born, and they're all a year apart. That is
Wow.
pretty impressive.
Wow, that is
That is
impressive.
pretty impressive. And they used cloth diapers back then. And you think about that.
The
You use
trauma.
cloth diapers. Yeah. You use cloth diapers back then. No doubt you would have them potty trained by the time the next one's born. But you're right, man. Forget using the potty.
Yeah, yeah.
Just do it in an adult diaper.
It's
I've heard celebrities do that.
oh really?
That's just what I've heard. I don't know how
Wow.
true it is. But.
Wow. I'm interested in, and I'll be honest with you, but by the next segment I think I'll have an answer for you. I think
I think it would make you just feel very cozy. Having that warm sensation.
warm. Warm is the word that comes to mind, yes. Yes.
Warm.
Yes.
I don't know that. I don't know. Well, I've got a tough question for you. Have you already asked your tough question?
Yeah, I did my best, yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask my tough question.
Okay.
Like I said, Laban's going to have future accidents, and I'm not going to be upset at that. I'm not going to say, why did you poo-poo or pee-pee in your pants? I'm not going to be upset at that.
Everybody
Not at
has an
all.
accident.
Yeah. My tough question for you is, when's the last time you've had an accident?
Mm. Oh man. So are you man? Well, I'll say. Well, let me ask you this: are you ready to reciprocate this answer? Are you prepared to reciprocate this answer?
You've already asked your.
It has been a long time ago. A long time ago. Oh, accident. Well, what? I remember one time. Now older than I remembered at first. I don't know if this would be an accident. Man, I don't know if this is like appropriate for on air. But I was on the way home, and I was on a trip, and I was much older than I should have been. And I think adults have had this issue. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing. But I mean, I was probably 17, and and I had to like it hit me so hard, and I was on a stretch of road where there was nothing. Like there was no gas station. Like
Yep.
South
You just can't
Alabama.
do it, man.
South Alabama, you run into long stretches where there's nothing nowhere
Yep.
around, and
Yep.
and yeah, it was
I know where you're coming from.
it wasn't it was messy. It was messy.
Yeah. We got about 2 minutes, so we're going to close this thing out. We've been 20 minutes over our
No. What about you?
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna just be honest. I think that's what the audience want is people that are honest, because I think we get to the thing. I don't want nobody to know that I messed up my britches, but I will tell you, I've had a couple in my adult years. I've had a couple go sideways.
This is a safe place. Sideways.
I don't want to be too graphic. I don't want to be too whatever in depth. Yeah. But you just have some that you don't think whatever, and you end up messing your pants. And in my 20s, I've had that happen, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I haven't had it happen long time, but it happens, man.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed of it.
Yeah, and with mine, I did get the opportunity to pull off on the side of the road into the woods, and then I just utilized the woods like an animal, because you know what I'm saying. So, I mean, so that was helpful.
Mine was just one of those. Mine was just one of those like, oh no, I think I messed my britches. Like,
oh no,
I can't believe I just did that. You know,
Yeah.
you just didn't think it was there, but it
Been
was
been there. Been there.
loaded.
Been there.
But,
And my first, and I'll just say this real quick. My first thought when you asked this question, and I think you'll remember this well, Luke. It wasn't a messy incident. It was a steamy incident. And we were, I was, it was a long time ago, and I was very young, but I was much older than I should have been. And we were in the
Smoky Mountains. Mom was
Don't-
taking a picture.
No, don't say it. Don't say anything about age. Don't say anything about age. We're not talking about age.
I'm not.
But
But we were taking,
you know, we were by a beautiful brook. You know, I think snow might have been on the
snow.
ground.
Yeah, snow was on the ground.
And I was just sitting there, and I didn't look. I'll tell you, I didn't even know what happened. And you looked over it, and you were looking at me funny, and steam was coming off of my body, and I just couldn't hold it anymore. It was embarrassing. It was absolutely embarrassing.
It happens. It
And
happens.
it happens to the best of us.
It happens, man. Listen, don't be ashamed. Tell somebody. It'll help them. It'll encourage them that they're not alone.
Yeah, that's right.
In these sticky and messy situations. All right, brother. I think we went over our time once again. But do you have anything for the audience?
No, man. I think we've said it all.
Just encourage somebody.
Yeah.
Listen, trust God. You get in a situation like that, knowing that God, you're on the winning side, that God's in control of your life, helps out. It makes things a lot better. I don't know what we would do if we didn't have him. So always trust God. Amen.
Amen. Oh,
You got anything, brother? You good?
no, man. I am just happy. I'm happy you're alive. I'm happy. Just praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to next episode 3. That'll air next week. But I hope you have a good week. I hope you have a good day today. And
man,
catch you next time.
You too, man. Be careful. Be safe. Love y'all.
Love you, brother.
See you.
Take it easy.
You too, man.